All right, it's Friday, 24th of June. We're in Copenhagen. I'm waiting for an interview with Megadeth, Dave Ellefson and Kiko, the new guitarist. And we've been given 10 minutes to talk with them. It's going to be a pleasure. So, Dystopia. How's the reception been?
It's been great, to be honest with you. Yeah. And not only was it, I think, a well-made record, but the first thing that people heard from it was Fatal Illusion.
Yeah.
So it was, and that was, 3 months before the record came out? Because we had a tour, October, November. So the first thing they heard was what they wanted to hear. And then, of course, then The Threat Is Real. And then by the time we got to Dystopia, which is kind of more of maybe an American radio rock track, the stage had been set that this is the Megadeth our fans want.
Yeah, I think it's a really good sounding record. Did you spend more time on this one than the previous ones?
Well, you can tell more about comparing to the other ones, but it was normal.
Pretty normal. Maybe 3 months. Then mixing, 3 months of recording,
even less than that,
tracking, editing, and then maybe a month of mixing. And mixing takes a little while. Josh Wilbur just has such a great ear for metal, and he really has a sound to his mixes that I think brings a very robust, very powerful mix. So the team was great, and part of the mixing, the process of that is we have a lot of back and forth over little nuances and details. But fundamentally, Josh really
bass came out good as well.
Yeah, I love Josh's bass mix, man. Dave would be sending me sort of dailies, and I'm like, look, whatever Josh thinks, I'm good with, because he knows how it sounds coming out of I know how to play the parts, but he knows how to mix it out of the speakers. So I had very, very few comments. I mean, his mixes. His work is great.
So topics normally in Megadeth, lyrics, politics, and then looking what happened today, right, in the UK.
Yeah.
Any thoughts about that in general?
Well, the dystopian world, it's like when one is up, the other's down. You know what I mean? It just seems to be how it is. And, we have an interesting perspective now because Kiko being from Brazil, I always joke Kiko got to live America's dystopian world in Brazil. He's already seen it, because it's an older country.
With my comments, it's like, don't do that. How it's going.
He sees in Brazil we already did that, and so it's it kind of almost foreshadows the mistakes America's making, and of course. On the upside, I always go back to the Peace Sells tour in 1987.
Year I was born.
Well, in particular, we were in Hamburg yesterday, so I remember the train station where we stayed, the hotel by there and everything, but I remember, how difficult it was. Every country, you'd have to get up, passports, change your money, and so to me, as a non-European citizen, the EU and the Euro, man, our life is...
And then seeing Europe as a united force.
Awesome.
Seeing Europe as a united force, it's
cool.
Beautiful to see. And if you see like 60 years ago, a war and everybody, trying to conquer little pieces of land. Now, as a united force, to create something even bigger, it's nice. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think,
But it's a different it's hard to... I think we didn't read. I didn't read the news. I just heard that. I don't know, like deep inside, why is the reason? I kind of understand. Because there's other countries that has a lot of corruption, and used to have like this dictatorship. Some of the countries didn't, and then these people are paying for this, and then it's kind of hard to try to unify such different countries and different.
Anyway. I think the quid dropped like 30% this morning or something.
It did, Well, and that's, I think, with the dystopian, back to that, the lyrics and the concept of that is that it's, people have always said it's political, and, you write one piece sells and everybody thinks it's political. And really, my view, and it is because it talks about basically everybody get off my back.
It's ideological.
Yeah, but it's kind of this just rebellious, leave me alone kind of mentality. Like, just get off my back, I talk to God every day. I pay my bills. Like, leave me alone, And that's that. And that's what rock and roll is. It's basically it's anarchy, And if it isn't pure anarchy toward the government, it's this sort of desire to stand up and be counted and be recognized. And I think that's what you know, this whole tribe today, as soon as you show up, black T-shirts, logos you can't read, you know, and it's like there's, you know, we're a tribe that are connected by, you know, by the things how we think and feel, and you know, and I think that's what the, you know, the dystopian thing is very similar to really, quite honestly, the cover of Peace Sells, watching the UN and the world just falling apart together.
Real sad.
Yeah.
So, you went away for 8 years around that, right? 2002.
Well, the band was actually disbanded from 02, 03, and through most of 04. So about 3 years, the band didn't exist, right? And then Dave wanted to do a solo record. That's really what
System Has Failed.
System Has Failed was supposed to be.
We have a funny thing about that because we started listening to Megadeth at that time, sort of.
Right.
So that became a record that we both liked.
Yeah. No, and it was a good record.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, it sounded very much like a solo record. I mean, it was used Nashville musicians. It was not a sort of cohesive unit that went in the studio to make a record. And those session musicians were obviously never going to tour it. So it to me, it was very much it kind of looked and felt like a solo record, you know, to some degree. But then, as you know, as Dave has talked about, you know, the record company and the music publishers, they wanted a Megadeth record. You know, that's what they wanted. You know, there were contracts in place. So, you know, it then had the Megadeth name on it rather than Dave's own name as a solo artist, and you know, so then it carried on as Megadeth, and you know, he and I mean, again, the group disbanded, so naturally when something, it wasn't like we took a hiatus.
No.
It was very much disbanded, you know, and so we were all in separate directions. So to try to bring that back together again, it did not work at that time, you know, and obviously we had, you know, there was some fallout over that, but that, you know, we're
fine again, right?
Yeah, you know, everything's fine, yeah, and you know, I think for me personally, I, you know, being here from the beginning, you know, I always had very high respect for our legacy. You know, like even if I did bass clinics and things, I knew people would always ask me, "Dude, play something on, you know, track 7, side 2, album 3." So I always stayed up on the music because it, you know, it's my music as well. You know, so I think when I came back in 2010, so really, there's only about five years that I wasn't here, really. And I kind of knew it would cycle through, and so I just kind of stayed calm, just kind of get on with life, and sometimes, you know, things that are in your rearview mirror come full circle, and now you're back in front of you again. You know what I mean? So some part of it, I think, for me was just sort of sit tight, shut up, don't cause problems. Just it'll come around and it'll work out. And when it did, it was beautiful. I mean, me and Dave have
I saw when you played in Gävle, I think, up north in Sweden. Really great show.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen you since way before.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so it's you know, in a way, really, I've got to be honest with you, it's stronger now than it's ever been. I mean, me and Dave have a much different friendship and musical partnership as two adults now, not two young.
No.
You know, kids. I was 18, he was 21. You know, I just got to Hollywood, he just got fired from Metallica. I mean, there was a weird freaking bunch of stuff, you know. Now we're two, you know, grown-ups, two adults. We've had our own successes as well as our successes together, and there's a different respect for each other. And I think
it's nice to see, you know, when they talk the old stories, you know, the memories, you know, that's
nice.
It's a bond that's it's gonna be always there, you know, like brothers. You know, it's nice.
Cool. So you're working with Chris now, and then when Chris has to be with Lamb of God, Dirk steps in, right?
Yeah, Dirk stepped in. Peace. You know, we knew. Look, when Chris, the original idea was that Chris would play in the record.
Yeah.
Now, he was always a Lamb of God member, and so we thought, we did one show up in Quebec City in July of 2015, and it was great. I mean, it felt so good. We're like, man, we got to try to keep this lineup, this recording lineup, together as much as we can. We did a tour in October, November. Chris already had to sit out the first few dates of it because he was on tour in South America. So we knew there's a reality to that, you know, it doesn't make sense, you know, for him to quit Lamb of God, I think could be very disruptive. I think fans would be very disappointed. I think what's exciting is that he could be in both bands. But there's a reality that's just not always going to work.
No.
You know, in long term, there's another reality to that I think, you know, we all, even the fans know, you know, but we're just, you know, again, this summer we knew we needed to get a replacement in for Chris. And so Dirk has been here, and it's really working out great. And quite honestly, kind of a new a new bond and friendship is happening with him, which is great. Cool. You know, so
gonna pay some tribute to Nick tonight.
You know, Nick kind of is just sort of already part of the legacy. You know what I mean? And it's respect. It's nice that Dave mentions that on stage. You know, as much as you know, there came a moment where Nick, you know, wasn't physically able to perform this stuff back in 1998. I mean, it was that long ago. And we fortunately had a moment where me and Dave and Nick got in the studio about a year and a half ago to investigate Rust in Peace, and it didn't work. And Dave and I kind of had a feeling it may not come back around, but at least we had the moment together to just kind of hang, play some music again, have dinner together, hang out. So now that he's no longer with us, at least I think Dave and I feel like there was some closure, you know, to that whole thing, which is nice. But yeah, it's still. I see pictures of Nick, and it gets me emotionally. It's sad because he was a buddy, he was a friend, he was there at a very pivotal transition of Megadeth that went on to our biggest years and set the stage for us to be able to do what we do now. Had that Rust in Peace era not happened, I mean, we wouldn't be here today. So
Great songs.
Yeah, Nick was a huge part of that stepping stone. You know.